Today we're going to be looking at a classic Tamiya Mini 4-wheel drive kit from 2014. In this box is the Aero Avante Violet Special. Pretty cool. This one was produced in 2014 in the Philippines. So here we have a list of features of everything that makes this a special kit right here. And yeah, on the other side you'll see the actual component parts and what's inside the kit. So we see that the purple tires here, they're not super hard. They are hard tires. We see these black 5-spoke wheels right here, and there's nothing special about them. They are normal PP wheels, so they're not carbon reinforced. We see here this clear shell, and it's not a hard shell, folks. It is a polycarbonate shell. So that's what makes this car kit particularly special, because of this polycarbonate body right here. And you've got stickers that you place on top of the polycarbonate body to add some zing and flavor and color to it. And yeah, that's basically it in this kit. You've got purple A parts, as you see here. Purple rollers. Yeah, there's black parts, purple parts. Yeah, the chassis itself is black. So again, nothing really special about this kit, but we're going to take a closer look inside and see how this fares against other so-called special kits. Okay, everybody, the Aero Avante Violet Special. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. Now, I have started building this kit, so you'll see some parts that were already cut out. And so, yeah, like the canopy, for example, I cut out the canopy, and I also started applying a couple of the decals onto the spoiler on the back here. So once you trim these parts out, then you could connect them together with 2 screws just like this. Pretty darn cool. So you can choose to spray paint the underside of this and add some flavor to it, add some color. You can make it like silver, for example. Silver and purple would look great. So yeah, or you can just leave it bare like this. Once you peel off the film, the protective film over the canopy, you'll be able to get a nice, shiny, clear surface on the polycarbonate, just like you see here. And here we have the instruction manual. Yes, the instruction manual from 2014. Very, very cool. Again, this kit was made in the Philippines. So what are some of the bad things about Philippines kits? I'm going to get into that. So I'll tell you what's good about it and what's bad about it. So the good thing about it is there's a lot of kits come out of the Philippines, guys. So you get a lot of great variety there. Yeah, there are some kits that are only made in the Philippines, and they're only distributed in the Philippines. So yeah, there's going to be kits that you will never see in the United States. So that's the good thing about Philippines kits, or maybe you can see that as a bad thing, I'm not sure. But yeah, you have to basically find somebody that you know who lives in the Philippines who can send these kits to you, or you can purchase online, like through eBay, things like that, or you just have to wait for somebody, some friend, to basically buy them and then bring them over here, and then you can buy a copy of it from him or her. So yeah, pretty cool. So inside this kit here, instruction manual. It's the old style instruction manual. It's not a booklet like they have nowadays. It's a big fold-out instruction sheet. And here you can see all of the instructions here. Very, very cool, including, yes, how to decorate your canopy with the decals. Very cool, yes. So we also have here the decals themselves. They are printed on this clear plastic film, very cool, so that you get like a translucent kind of see-through effect in some cases of the decals on this canopy. Very cool, very cool, very cool. And the next thing is the black chassis. So this is a black chassis. There's nothing special about it. It is not polycarbonate plastic. It is just regular plastic. Yes, so let me just verify this totally before we move on, because some of you might have questions about this chassis and you might think that it's something special, but it is not. It is just a standard monocoque chassis, and yeah, made of black plastic. Wait, do I see something? Do my eyes deceive me? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me take a closer look here. I thought that this was just ABS plastic, but it is not. Guys, this is a polycarbonate reinforced ABS chassis. Yes, you heard it here, everybody. Polycarbonate reinforced chassis. Now, there's good and bad to this, right? So the good news is it's polycarbonate reinforced, so it's supposed to be stronger than your typical ABS chassis. So in other words, are these roller mounts here going to break off as easily as, say, on a standard ABS chassis? As you see here, I had to glue this thing down after this thing started like pulling up. So the rollers on, even though the rollers are are here on this, what appears to be a very strong ABS AR chassis. The rollers just, for whatever reason, because of very harsh conditions, they end up turning up. They end up turning up and tilting inward. And then you have a problem here because it's not hitting the side of the track as it should and rolling off the side of the track. So here we have polycarbonate reinforcement on here. Now, those of you who've raced the mock frame with the polycarbonate reinforced chassis, the black special mock frame, know for sure that polycarbonate chassis are not the be-all, end-all of the Mini 4-wheel drive world. In fact, a lot of those can crack pretty easily. So the roller mounts on polycarbonate chassis are not necessarily stronger than on regular ABS chassis. They're not necessarily going to last you longer than standard ABS chassis. But the cool thing is they included it here, and so there's polycarbonate reinforcement in this chassis. So yes, so theoretically stronger than a standard ABS chassis. So that's what makes this special. Pretty cool. So not just the polycarbonate shell, but the chassis. The chassis, yes. And if you really like the purple colors, which I do, then yeah, you can only get these colors here in this particular kit. And you've got purple, hard tires. Wish they were super hard, but hard is pretty good too. And I wish these were carbon reinforced. So yeah, and you get the standard kit parts for your motor. Here's the motor here. Ooh, look at this. There's no holes in the motor. So this is a Mabuchi motor then. Very, very cool. Some people like Mabuchi motors over SMC motors, right? Because it's got, these are more torquey than SMC motors, and your mileage may vary. But I'm going to tell you that I tested these two shafts right here, these steel shafts. They do not pass the shaft checker test. So these are very crooked shafts. And again, I've talked about this with various people and they all agree. If you get a Philippines kit, very likely these shafts are going to be slightly off. They're going to be bent and you'll be dissatisfied. You'll have to replace the shafts with good ones. So if you get a kit that was made in Japan, more likely than not, your shafts will be straight and true. If you get a Philippines kit, for whatever reason, you get bent shafts. And so that's just the way the ball bounces. You can, of course, rebend the shafts and make them straighter, but they'll never be perfectly straight right out of the package. And really, we want perfectly straight stuff, right? We pay our good money for these kits. We pay at least $15 for a new kit, or thereabouts. $40-something for some of these older kits. And we expect straight shafts, but we're not going to get straight shafts on these older kits, especially the Philippines kits, unfortunately. So yeah, that's just the way the ball bounces. You get a 3.5-to-1 gear right here, yes, with a yellow spur gear. And let's see, you have purple palm parts, like I said, the A parts are purple palm parts. Yes, very, very cool that everything is this violet accent right here. And I'm not sure if you can really call this violet because it's kind of a lighter color than what I perceive as a violet color. So it's almost like in between lavender and violet. So it's kind of like a darker lavender, but a lighter violet, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's just a little bit of nitpicking right there, but yeah, that's how I see this purple right here. So yes, and these parts here, this is for your canopy. So you're going to attach this little thingy right here onto here so that you can then attach the canopy, the body catch right here. So it's a purple body catch for the rear of your vehicle to secure the cowl onto the chassis. Very, very cool. And then when you're all done building your car, it's going to look something similar to this. So this is the Hurricane Sonic, but imagine it had instead the canopy of this Aero Avante right on there. So look, this is like smaller, sleeker than this big, heavy, like cumbersome looking cowl here. But a lot of people love this cowl, right? Because it's like wide. It's like it takes up room. It's like, yeah, but also, as you can see, you can have some, well, you don't see it here, but you can have some wheel interference unless you trim this wheel well here above the wheel to make sure that this doesn't hit the wheel at all. So not likely that's going to hit the wheel, but you never know. So here we have on this cowl here, we have no chance at all that the wheels are going to hit the cowl, right? So because it's got this huge part right here, this part is all removed, right? There's nothing here, so the wheels can spin freely right around here. So technically, right out of the box, this performance-wise is lighter than this car here, and maybe with the reinforced chassis, it might weigh a smidge more in terms of just the chassis. But overall, I think this Aero Avante Violet Special will end up weighing less than this Hurricane Sonic with a polycarbonate shell. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here. So I think this is going to be a very fast car because it's going to be very light. You have to just make sure that you're running on the right track, that the track doesn't have a lot of crazy hairpin turns that could cause this to course out. So that's why a lot of people love this one, because it's got this shell right here. It's a little bit more weighty because of this larger shell. I mean, not a lot, right? It's just a smidge more in weight just because of the additional plastic. But it's enough to give it a little bit more weight than this. And yeah, this is like pretty slick and cool in itself. It's got super hard tires, so this is going to be really, really fast. But this is not going to be a slouch either, this Aero Avante Violet Special. It's going to be pretty sleek. So yeah, if you have a chance to purchase this, well, they sell them on eBay. There are people selling these on eBay for about $44 or so. So I think it's a great deal for what it is, because it's an older kit, and if you really want this polycarbonate body right here with all of these purple accents and this polycarbonate shell, I think this is a good deal. And the Mubuchi motor, let's not forget that. But you will need to replace the shafts, that's for sure. You will need a very steady hand to apply the decals on there, that's for sure. Now the decals themselves can add a little bit of weight to the canopy, that's for sure. If you apply all the decals that are on this decal sheet, you'll probably get a little bit more weight, and you'll get it to weigh closer to something like this Hurricane Sonic if you wanted that. So yeah, that might be an advantage right there. You could also remove the spoiler, and that'll lose some of the weight too, because when you add all of these decals to the back spoiler here, it's going to add a little bit of weight to this spoiler. So that's good in a way, right? Because it'll weigh the back part of the car down by a smidge. Now remember, a lot of you might think that, oh, it's negligible, the weight of adding stickers onto the cars. But that's not entirely true, because remember that we're working with 132 scale cars here. So every little minute gram counts. So every little fraction of a gram counts. You might think that it doesn't, but think about it this way. If you were to drive your 3,000-pound car, your real car, and you were to put a 100-pound sack of rice in the back of your car, in the trunk, you're going to affect the performance of the car. That's just how it is. Even if you put a 50-pound bag of rice in the back of your car, it's going to shift the performance of your car. Now, you might not notice this shift, but it's there, especially if you're racing competitively. So same thing goes for this. With these little cars, every little gram counts on these cars. So try to be mindful of that when you're building your car. Try to respect where you should cut on the canopy. Try to respect how you trim the parts off of the sprue trees, because that's very important too. I once had a friend who basically built one of these cars, and she had no idea what she was doing, and she was like leaving all the spurs, the little tree pokies, on the plastic parts, and that was affecting the performance of the car like very, very greatly, and that's not good. So yeah, but you know, that's something that you have to learn over time. You have to learn all these little tricks, and you have to apply them to the actual building of these models. And so yeah, you get better at this just by practice. That's what it's all about. Practice makes perfect in the Mini 4-wheel drive world. So yes, everybody, this is the Aero Avante Violet Special. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel, and you'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.